Justin Jefferson, my second favorite receiver in this draft class, goes at number 22 as like the fifth or sixth receiver in this draft. He was super productive at LSU. He became Burrow's favorite receiver in the slot. 6'1", over 200 pounds, a crisp route runner, great. Just awareness, body control, able to go up and get the ball, made a number of huge catches in big games, and he almost became uncoverable for LSU in that offense. He's great with the ball in his hands. He's really good at just taking like sweeps and different short passes and making a play out of it. He has nice, smooth releases out the line of scrimmage. I think he excels in the slot. So the interesting thing is that Adam Thielen is the slot receiver primarily for the Vikings. But I think he can also, and he did show at LSU, that he can play outside the numbers as well. So we'll have to see where they utilize him. The interesting thing is he's not quite Stephon Diggs in terms of his down the field ability, but he's a good route runner. He could do basically everything. He's probably just as good in contested catch situations as Stephon Diggs, and he doesn't bring the personality. So it's interesting. They basically trade Stephon Diggs for a guy that's not as proven coming out of college for another receiver. So I don't know. We'll have to see how this works out. They do have another pick in this draft at 25, which actually is the Bills' pick, I do believe. Maybe it's the Vikings' pick. I'm not sure. Either way, they're going to fit two needs, but one of them we knew would probably be a receiver. The other I expect to be a corner, defensive end, or defensive pick. But again, I really like Justin Jefferson. I just think the guy's a gamer. He had like 18 touchdowns this year at LSU, and he was the best receiver for the best offense in college football and the most consistent receiver for the best offense in college football. So sometimes you take the production, and I think in this case, it's a really good pick. Jefferson can do just about everything. The only question I have, like, can he play that Diggs role? Or maybe the Vikings are shifting the way that they play a little bit in the passing game with Jefferson and Thielen. We'll have to see. But I like the pick. He was the best guy on the board at the position, and I think he honestly was a steal at this point. So Vikings, really solid value at number 22, also filling their wide receiver need. At pick number 31, we knew the Minnesota Vikings at some point in this draft were going to draft a cornerback, and they get a guy here in Gladney from TCU, another corner picked in the first round of this draft. But this guy was mocked constantly to the Vikings, and for good reason. He's both fast, he is physical, he's a pretty solid tackler, and he's a playmaker as well. This is a cornerback that I think fits Zimmer's style of defense, where he can do a little bit of everything, play man and play zone, and has shown that he can do both. I also think that with Gladney, it's probably a good pick because Zimmer knows his defensive backs. He really needed to replace Rhodes and Alexander, and he needed to replace the guys that they had there, Trey Waynes as well. So this is a good pick to me, just in terms of need. A lot of people actually had him going a little bit higher than this at 31. A lot of people had him actually at 25, where Minnesota originally was supposed to pick. So in terms of value, it's about right. And considering all the corners that have come off the board, I thought that he would actually go a little bit earlier than some of the other guys that have gone ahead of him, because he has a little bit more potential in terms of, I think he still has yet to reach his ceiling. He's still a player that I think physically is a lot better than some of the guys at corner that have gone ahead of him. And for me, when I'm looking at corners, number one thing I'm looking at is, can you run? Because if you cannot run well, you probably aren't going to be that great, or you're limited in your game. And at least Gladney can do that. He's about 5'10". They might play him in the slot. They might play him outside. We'll have to see what they do with him. And I don't think they're done at all in terms of their corner play, but this will definitely help day one for them, and he'll definitely be a day one starter because they really needed help at this position. So thumbs up for the need, thumbs up for the fit. I feel like it's a good scheme fit for the player. And Yeah, too bad they couldn't get an upper echelon corner in this draft, but I think they like what they have here in Gladney from TCU.